I knew that I wanted to go to WSU. I knew down the road that I wanted to work for Nordstrom, but I didn't know how my education was going to fit in there. It's a big communication school, so I figured that could be my degree. I'll never forget Dan Bernardo, who then was a dean, said, "Why not AMDT?" And I never knew it was an option. I ended up going and started my freshman year, and I loved it.
I've always been interested in fashion in my day-to-day life. To know that I could actually make a career out of it was super exciting, and I felt like in that moment I just knew that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to go to WSU, and I didn't apply to any other schools. And so I just applied to that program, I got in, and I went there. So the merchandising track in the apparel program at WSU is more so focused on kind of the business side of the apparel industry. So you are learning about silhouettes and stitches, but it's more so about like forecasting and the math side of it. And we were taught a lot about that in school, just kind of dabbled in the business of everything, learning supply chain, learning forecasting, talking about color.
In merchandising at AMDT, we talked a lot about the business side of fashion. We looked at import, exports, it's a global industry. What do we take from that, or how does that really affect the industry?
This field is a lot more vast than people think. People are always going to need clothes. So at the end of the day, this industry is untouchable in that sense. So the kinds of different careers that you can go into with a degree in AMDT, you can go work at a trend forecasting, you can go work at Pantone and do color forecasting, or you can go work for Costco and you can go and you can help them buy and figure out, what assortment that they're going to do for product. Pretty much any company will have something that they need to sell into merchandise. So you can take it that direction, or you can kind of go more on the business side and do math and do planning and forecasting for a company, because it's just really diverse.
When everyone's little and they say, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a veterinarian, I wanted to work at Nordstrom. When I got the job at Nordstrom, when I had graduated, I was so excited. I started out as an intern in a retail management internship, and that was a really kickstart to see management on the store side.
So the fashion show for AMDT at WSU is a once-a-year program that they put on in the spring for the design students to showcase their work that they've been doing and just working endlessly on all year long. And then the merchandising students get involved with the behind the scenes. So they can be program managers, they can work on graphics, they can help with the models. It's a huge production, and we help create it and cultivate it from start to finish. So my advice for any students going into AMDT and even doing internships or going right into their careers is just to be a sponge.
Being involved in not just going to class, but being a part of a Greek community, or, volunteering, or going above and beyond just being a student is huge.
So the most valuable thing that I took from my experience at WSU was just making connections. They really drilled that into us, and I think as college kids, you're like, I'll find my way, I'll meet people. But no, you really have to push yourself to get out there and just expose yourself to what is out there in the industry.
What makes WSU and so special, it's not necessarily the campus or the location. However, it's the people. And that is what makes it so special. That's where you get the connections from.